we're going to be reviewing 4 stud mixes, focusing on their suitability as feed for brood mares in the last trimester of pregnancy. I am reviewing Dodson & Horrell's mare and young stock mix. The main ingredients of this feed are barley, wheat and alfalfa. Barley contains around 60% starch and wheat is higher than this at around 70%. Alfalfa has quite good protein. Despite this, the overall crude protein of this feed is not high enough. It contains 140 grams per kilogram of crude protein and is fed at a daily rate of 500 grams per every 100 kilograms of body weight. Therefore, a 500 kilogram mare would need 2.5 kilos a day. This would provide 350 grams of protein. A mare of this size would actually need 749 grams of protein. This difference must be made up through forage. Protein is vital during the last trimester of pregnancy, as a lack of protein can affect the foal's birth weight and make them less able to absorb antibodies from colostrum. Mares need a lot of calories during the last trimester when the rate of fetal growth increases rapidly, growing up to a pound a day. This feed contains 12.5 megajoules of digestible energy, which is sufficient. It also contains added lysine and oligosaccharides, a prebiotic that acts as substrate for the microbes in the horse's hindgut. Compared to the other feeds, Dodson & Horrell's is lower in starch at 21%. However, while feed companies might pass this off as low, it is still quite high. The energy requirements of the mare will increase again by a significant amount once she starts lactating. But fats contain over twice the amount of energy that starches do, so perhaps if they used ingredients higher in oil, this would be more suitable.
I'm looking at the stud mix by Ellen Page. Ellen Page is the cheapest stud mix among the 4 we picked. It has the highest content of starch at 38%. Barley, peas, beans, maize are the first on the list of ingredients. They are extremely high in starches. Ellen Page has the lowest content of fiber and fat. Peas and soybeans make up good quality of protein here. Ellen Page recommends feeding a 600 kilos mare 107 kilos of the stud mix. From this we can estimate that a mare would get approximately 101 dietary energy and 1017 gram of protein, with a 10 and 3 kilos of hay daily. This stud mix is not appropriate for lactating mares because it doesn't meet energy requirements. Stud mix recommend feeding 200 kilos foal, half a kilo stud mix. Means that daily he would get 34 dietary energy and 323 grams of protein with 3.5 kilos of hay. This stud mix is not appropriate for foals because it doesn't meet energy nor protein requirements. While evaluating Ellen Page, we discovered that starch content represents good nutritional value for a hard-working horse, but in our opinion not for breeding. Feeding diets high in starch to pregnant brood mares have been linked to negative health consequences later in life, also may put their foals at increased levels of developing health issues. Energy and protein requirements are met from a mare in the early pregnancy or a breeding stallion, but not for growing foals or mare in the last trimester.
Today I'm going to analyze pillar stud mix for pregnant mares. The 3 main components of this feed are wheat feed, lightly rolled oats and barley. Wheat feed usually consists of wheat bran and it's really palatable for horses. It's rich in essential fatty acids, vitamins, minerals and proteins. It contains lysine and methionine and it's a great source of phosphorus, magnesium, copper and lysine. It also contains B vitamins and helps in disease protections of the cecum and colon of the horse, and also helps to gain some weight. Lightly rolled oats is an essential digestible nutrient with high amounts of protein, lysine and methionine, and it helps the growth and development of the foal, so feeding this in the last trimester to the mare can be really beneficial for fetal growth because it happens mostly in this phase. Barley is a preferred alternative of oats for its higher fiber and less starch content, and it's good for putting some condition on the horse, but it lacks vitamin A. Other ingredients of this feed are flaked maize, which is a great source of vitamin A, so this balances what the barley lacks. Vitamin E is another ingredient which helps protect tissues and cells from damage. Flaked peas and soybean meal are great sources of protein, and vitamin C boosts the immune system. Also, there is sunflower oil, which keeps the mare's skin and coat in good shape and helps digestion. Overall, this feed is highly palatable due to its high sugar content, so because of this it should not be fed to laminitic horses. And also this feed has a high phosphorus ratio, which is why owners should ensure that the calcium and phosphorus ratio is balanced in the horse's diet. An imbalance could cause poor growth and skeletal malformations and muscle disorders for the developing form.
I'll be talking about Bailey's stud mix. Bailey's is renowned for among all breeders for their range of stud feeds. This mix is traditionally an oat-based mix, with other ingredients like SCFOS. SCFOS acts as a food source that only the beneficial bacteria in the gut can use. There's also yeast sac, which is a live yeast strain to stimulate fibre digesting bacteria. The starch content is 32% high. This means that if your horse was prone to laminitis, then you wouldn't want to be feeding it with this much starch in. However, starch is a key important factor into feeding a horse and keeping it in good condition. Bailey's stud mix is more appropriate through mid to the last trimester of the pregnancy as advised by Bailey's. This is to maintain condition and to support the fetus. The food looks appetising. They have said in the description that it's especially good for fussy eaters. The feeding recommendations are for a 500 to 600 kilo mare, pregnant mare, there's 2.7 kilograms a day. This feed is a very good all-round feed for a lot of the stud, but it's especially good for pregnant mares.
To consider in these 4 feeds, we've decided that we like Dodson and Horrells the best because it's low in starch.
It's low intake, only 2.5 kilos daily.
It contains lysine and oligosaccharides.
And it is good throughout the whole of the pregnancy.